In today's tutorial, we'll be teaching us how to make this beautiful and trendy short cape. It's so stunning, guys, and it can also be styled in different ways. It has two different styles and two different methods of achieving this cape. Depends on how you want it to be on the arms area. If you take a close look at this particular one this model is wearing, it has a joining on the shoulder. The back and the front was joined together on the shoulder. This is the first style. And the second method is to cut the back and the front together with a small stitch joining it on top of the shoulder, which is this particular style that this lady is wearing in this video. Using these two different methods, you will achieve two different results. Now, let's merge both of them together so that you can see the difference clearly. Looking at the white cape on the left slide, you can see that the arm side doesn't have as much flexibility as the brown cape we have on the right slide. This white cape was cut with a straight stitch on the shoulder. The joining of the back and front went straight from the neck down through the shoulder down to the end of the cape, while the brown cape was cut back and front together with a joining on the shoulder, making it look as if it has a sleeve, right? In this tutorial, we did the drafting of both this white cape and this brown cape, and you can see the difference is showing on the pattern paper already. You can see the one we drafted straight down, and you can see the other one we drafted with much space around the arms area. And in this tutorial, we'll be teaching us how to draft both of them so that whichever one you want to achieve, you will get it in this tutorial. Remember to subscribe to iFashy channel if you haven't done that already. Now let's begin with the drafting of this first style. We are starting with this one because it is easier and more beginner friendly. The first thing we are going to do is to place this pattern paper on fold. Mind you, we'll be drafting our front and back on this particular pattern paper. It is very simple. So the first thing you do on your pattern paper is to rule out a straight line at the beginning, which will serve as our shoulder line. From this line, we'll take our measurements downwards. Now, the first measurement we'll be taking downwards is our bust point, which is the measurement from your shoulder to your nipple point. Mine is 10 inches, so I'm imputing the 10 inches on this point. I'll repeat the same 10 inches around and draw a straight line there and mark that line the bust line. The next line I'll take is the chest line, where the armhole will stop, right? Now, to get this chest line, like I always say, you divide your bust circumference by 6 and add 1.5 to your answer. Dividing 37 by 6 and adding 1.5 gave me 7.6. So I'm going to mark out this 7.6 from the shoulder downwards and rule a line there. That will be my chest line. Now, after getting out our chest line, in order for us to be able to get the armhole connection from the shoulder to the chest line, we're going to have to rule a straight line there. I'll go ahead and impute my shoulder measurement divided by 2 on the shoulder line and come down with 1 inch for the shoulder slope. And it is from that shoulder slope that I would mark a straight line down to meet the same shoulder measurement divided by 2 on the chest line. Now, after marking out the straight armhole line, we're going to go to the shoulder line again and take our neck measurement. I'm using 3 inches there. And from that 3 inches, we'll connect a slant line to meet the shoulder slope point. Now, to mark out the armhole curve, we're going to divide this straight line by 2 and then come inward with 0.5. Then use our curve ruler to make a connection from the bust measurement on the chest line through that 0.5 we came in with and upward to the shoulder slope. Now that the armhole curve is out, remember we are making a cape, we don't need this curve. We're going to go to the shoulder line and work on the shoulder of this cape. Now, placing my tape at the end of our initial shoulder measurement, we're going to extend our cape. This extension depends on how exaggerated or extended you want your cape to be. You can extend yours with 4 inches, you can extend yours with 3 inches. I initially extended mine with 4 inches, but I felt like it was too pointed. I decided to reduce it back to 3 inches. So after the extension, we're going to go ahead and connect it back to meet our shoulder. I use this slight curve here because it's not very straight. You can also make a curve. Depends on the inspiration you are working with. Some of these cape are pointy, some of these cape are curvy, right? After getting out the shoulder now, we are going to go ahead and mark out the length of our cape. Now, this length is optional. You can decide to make it longer. You can decide to curve it at that down part. But following this picture on the screen we are working with, this length is not supposed to extend longer than the whole bust. Now remember, we already have our bust point line here, which is our nipple point. So we are going to go ahead and come down with 1 inch from this bust point. Like I said before, it depends on how long you want your cape to be, right? So after coming down, I mark out a new line here, which is our full length of the cape. Now, after marking out these full length points, we're going to take our measurement there. And the measurement you should take here is your round arm measurement. Take your tape around your arm, make it free to create flexibility for your arms, right? So measure around that point where the cape is going to stop on your arm, right? Divide it by 4 and impute your answer on this full length line. So after imputing my round arm measurement on the full length and reducing the pointy shoulder I mentioned before, we are going to go ahead now and use our ruler to connect these 2 points together. Our curve ruler. You can use a straight ruler if you want it to have a sharp edge on the down part, right? So I'm just curving it the way I want this one to come out, from the shoulder down to the full length. If you use a straight ruler, it's not going to give you as much curve as a curve ruler would do, right? So go ahead and curve this part however you want yours to be. And after curving it, you're going to make sure this shoulder part is not too pointy, which is what I just used this curve ruler to correct on this shoulder extension point. The next part we're going to go to now is the neck line. We're going to be taking our back and front neck measurements. Remember, we're using this pattern to cut out both the back and the front. So we are coming down with 1 inch from the shoulder line to get the back neck depth, and then we'll come down with 2.5 inches to get the front neck depth. I'm using 2.5 because I don't want this neck to be too low. If you want to have a high neck or a built-up neckline, you can go ahead and do that at this point. We already have a built-up neckline tutorial on the channel. The link will be in the description box. This is a round neck that we are doing here. So you can come down with 2 inches or 2.5. Now, after marking out the neck measurements, we're going to go ahead and achieve this V shape that we have at the front of this cape. Remember, this V can go to the back or to the front, either ways. So to get that V opening, we're going to take out 1.5 inch from this bust line. Remember, this pattern is on fold. If you remove 1.5, the opening will be 3 inches wide. If you remove 1 inch, the opening will be 2 inches wide. So you're going to be careful how many you remove from here in order not to be too wide or too small. Depends on the shape you want there. After removing 1.5 now, I will use my straight ruler to connect it from the neck down to that 1.5 points. Now, if you don't want a V shape here, because there are other designs for this front part of this cape, right? You can use your curve ruler to connect from this neck down to that same bust line. It will give you a different shape on the opening we have on the front. You can just play around this design. You can do scallop at this point. It's completely optional, okay? Now, I'm using a pencil for this part because I don't want to have too many lines. This is just to show you can achieve different designs on this front part. And for the neck as well, you can go higher like I mentioned before. So because we are using this pattern paper to achieve both back and front, we are going to cut out back first before you cut out this opening we have on the front, okay? And also, the reason why I did my front opening on the bust point is because I don't want that front part to extend more than my bust point. It can curve downwards to meet the arm side, but I want the length to start from this bust point on the front area. Now, for the back part, remember we're using this same pattern for back and front. For the back part, when you're cutting the back, do not cut it following this bust point. It will hang at your back. It will be too short. That's why I came down with this extra inch under the bust line. And trust me, that is that for this cape. It is very, very simple. That's all you have to do. To cut out on fabric, you're going to have to cut the back first before opening this front part to cut the front piece. Now, this is for this first design of this cape. Remember, we mentioned we're going to be teaching us how to achieve this one and the other one that has more space on the arms area. We started with this first one because it is more beginner friendly. To draft this second method, you need to have your basic bodice pattern ready because it is from these basic bodice and your sleeve pattern that we'll be using to draft out this second cape design. Now, here are the front and back piece of my basic bodice pattern paper, right? So I'm going to go ahead now and place them on top of this new pattern paper that we'll be using to draft out this cape. On this straight side of my pattern paper, I'm going to place the back piece first. This is the back part of my basic bodice pattern. The center back is placed on this straight part of the paper, while the front is going to be placed the other way. The reason we are doing it like this, we need the two armholes to face each other. And also make sure that the chest line, which is the point where the armhole ended, align on both the back and front. You can pin it down or place something on top of the papers to secure it down so that it doesn't move. Another thing you need to note, you need to make sure that the space in between these two armholes is not too wide, because the wider the space, the bigger the cape is going to come out on the arms area around the shoulder, right? So after arranging it like this and measuring your space, make sure it is not more than 3 inches. You can use 2.5, okay? After arranging it, we're going to go ahead and place our sleeve pattern on top. Now, to place this sleeve pattern, you're going to measure 4 inches away from your sleeve pattern. That 4 inches is just a guide, okay? It is not standard, right? Now, this is to guide you to make sure that the end of the armhole of your sleeve aligns with the chest line that we have on our front and back pattern paper. Look closely and see how mine is arranged. The end of my sleeve, the end of the armhole of my sleeve is on the top of the chest line where the armhole also ended on the pattern paper. And then you just go ahead and trace. I start tracing from the beginning of my paper, which is the neck of the back, through the shoulder, down to the sleeve, and then to meet the other shoulder and the other neck of the front. This method is very, very straightforward, right? So after tracing or marking out this upper part, we're going to determine the length of the cape. And like we did with the other cape, I'm following the bust line I have on my front and back piece. Remember, I don't want you to extend the bust line, especially for the front. For the back, it can come down lower. So as you can see on my back pattern, I'm extending my back pattern from the bust line downwards with 1.5 with my tracing wheel. Now, after tracing it out, I'll go ahead and remove the sleeve pattern and remove the back and front pattern, use my marker to mark out that line that I just traced out. You see how simple and straightforward this method is? You just need to have your basic bodice and your sleeve pattern to trace out the upper part of this particular cape design. So after marking it out now, when you fold it into two, we have our front part and our back part. Remember to label it, okay? So after indicating which side is the back and the front, which you can already know with the neckline though, but you just have to still mark it out, right? Now we're going to mark out the opening we have on the front part. This opening can be done on both back and front, right? But we need to put it on the front part so that you will not get confused. Like I did with the other cape, I came inward with 1.5 on the bust line, which is the end of the cape on the front part. So after coming in with 1.5, we just go ahead and slant it to meet the beginning of the neckline and then cut off the rest part of this pattern paper. After cutting it off now, I'm going to go ahead and pin it down for you guys to see how this one is going to come out on that shoulder part. At this point, after cutting, we are done with this particular cape. I'd have just used my gum or a paper tape to tape it down so that it will stand properly, but I will need to open it up again to place this pattern on fabric by the time I'm cutting on fabric. So that's why I'm going to go ahead and use a pin instead of a gum or a tape. So after securing it down with a pin, you can see how the shoulder is coming out already. This is one side. Remember, we need to cut 2 of these to be able to achieve the 2 sides of the cape. So now you see the front part of this cape and the back part of this cape, and then the width that we have on the shoulder, the space we have inside of that shoulder part that is making this particular design different from the first cape that we drafted. So you see how we drafted the first method and this second method. Now, if you follow that first pattern that we drafted and you know you want to achieve this brown one that has more space on the arm, this first pattern cannot give you this one, right? So the difference is in the drafting. The difference in both of this cape is how you draft your pattern paper, because this first pattern will not give you much flexibility around your arm like this second pattern would do. Right? So in our next tutorial, we'll be transferring this pattern to fabric to teach us how to sew this cape. I hope you learned a thing or two from this video. If you have watched to this point of this tutorial and you are yet to subscribe to iFashy channel, please support us by clicking on that subscribe button. Remember to like and share this video, and I'll see you in the part 2 of this tutorial.